GBP USD2 is another interesting scenario that we have here. Remember, I told you how much it was painful for me to have missed out on that bullish momentum that started on Wednesday. Well, I missed that significantly. Well, I was so caught up in my bearish expectation, and I wonder how I didn't see the breakout retest of the structure to give me that signal that a bullish momentum will come in. But some of you took advantage of that move, so well done, guys, for taking advantage of that move, as price action has moved significantly well in such a way that we have over 250 pips here as price action came back into the 1.21550 level. Now, one thing we have noticed here since price tested the 1.21550 level was that we have been noticing selling pressure around that area. And from a technical standpoint, whenever we have an impulsive move like this, we should expect that at one point in time there is going to be a retracement phase, which is going to be a reflection of profit-taking activities. And what do I mean by profit-taking activities here? Well, for those who are taking advantage of this move right from this area here, at one point in time they want to take some profit, that is, sell it and take the profit that they have gathered so far. So when they are doing this, it's going to be reflected on the chart as a retracement of that impulse leg. So I'm of the opinion that we are at a juncture here where the possibility of a retracement phase is likely going to be happening at this area. So in order to catch the retracement move, if it does happen today, I have identified a structure around the 1.21150 level. As you can see here, it's also a good structure. We saw how this level was holding selling pressure at one point in time during the early hours of yesterday before we saw the breakout of that structure close to the New York session, and then we saw price climb up a little bit, but price came back down. But buyers were enabled to continue to the upside here as we saw sellers continue to push price right below that level. So at this point in time, I'm thinking that we might be having a retracement phase at this point. Now, to buttress the possible retracement phase that we might be having here, I was able to connect the series of higher lows here, another temporary trend line here, to make our job easier to take advantage of that opportunity if it finally happens. So what I'm looking forward to during the New York session today is selling pressure right below the 1.21150 level to be comfortable in my sell position here on the GBP USD. So to sell here, we are looking to sell right below the 1.21150, and I'm having my buy zone, my take profit target around the buy zone area here, which also lines up with the bullish trend line that has been holding bullish momentum since the beginning of the month. So we can see here, this was the first week of the month. We saw our price was at the 1.110 level before we started seeing price find higher lows and higher highs. So we were able to connect the series of the higher lows here to give us that bullish trend line. So I'm of the opinion that if this retracement phase happens, we might likely see a situation where price comes back into that trend line one more time to incite another wave of a bullish momentum. And if you look at the trend line here, you can see how it also shares a confluence with that very important key level at the 1.19700 level. Remember, we had this level was a resistant point for price action since last week. We saw how that level was holding selling pressure before the breakout of that structure happened on Wednesday of this week. So whenever we have a breakout of a structure, the expectation is that price is likely going to come back to do a retest of that structure with the anticipation of pushing price to the upside. And to understand how important the 1.19700 level, let's scale up to the daily time frame and let's see how that level has been a major determinant of price action in the last couple of months. So if we scale up to the daily time frame here, this is what I was able to identify here. So you can see how this on the daily time frame, we can see that we are on a long-term bearish momentum, and I was able to connect the series of lower highs here to give us that resultant bearish trend line. But the most important structure at this present point of the market is the 1.1970 level, which I showed you on the daily time, on the 1 hour time frame, sorry, and look at how that level has been a major determinant of price action in the past. You can see what happened here in the month of June. It was holding buying pressure. The same thing happened here in the month of August. We saw buying pressure around that area. Then we saw the breakdown of that structure later on in the month of August, giving us a clue of how strong the sellers are at that point. And since then, price has been trading below that structure. So in the last couple of weeks now, we saw price come back into that structure, and during this week we finally witnessed the breakout of that structure. So is price going to continue to the upside here, or are we going to be having a situation where price might likely come back, do a retest of the 1.19700 level to send another wave of bullish momentum, which is what I showed you on the 1 hour time frame? Or we could have a situation where price breaks down the 1.197 retest of structure to send price coming back down into that important 1.14 level that we have been using to guide our trading activities in the last couple of months now, to send another wave of bullish momentum. So you can see how important the 1.197 level is. So that is why I have said that we want to be mindful of to see how price relates to that structure. So going back down to the 1 hour time frame and looking at the current structure we have here, I've said that we continue to look out for selling pressure right below the 1.121150 level to sell back into that structure we identified here, where I said we want to see how price relate to that structure to decipher what next to do. Now, in as much as we are looking forward to selling opportunities here, we cannot ignore the possibility that price might continue to the upside at this point. Remember, since the beginning of the month, price has been trading to the upside here. So if that happens, what we are going to be looking out for to buy this is if price breaks above the 1.21150 level with an engulfing candle, breaking out of that bearish trend line, that bullish trend line here rather, and then price comes back to do either a retest of this bullish trend line or probably come back down here. The most important thing we want to be looking out for is either buy pressure above this level to join the rally to the upside, or a buy pressure above the 1.21150 level to join the rally to the upside. So these are the scenarios I'm looking forward to. So like I said, I continue to look for selling opportunities that is a retracement of the impulse leg. But if price climbs up in such a way that we see an engulfing candle taking us above the 1.2115, well, we will be getting ready to join that bullish momentum. So that is my view here on the GBP USD. If you have questions, feel free to drop in your inquiries in the comment section.